I'm Reverend Skip Jennings. It is my honor to welcome you here into this beautiful sanctuary. Thank you, Antonio, for singing that song. And if you don't know, and if you've forgotten, it is Black History Month. And here at CSL, we celebrate inclusivity and diversity. So we celebrate all the achievements of African Americans and the struggles and the victories. Let's give a hand for Black History Month. Yes. Here at CSL, we have 7 core values, and they are love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. Today, we're going to focus in on spiritual growth. When I first entered into my first New Thought community, which was Agape, I couldn't articulate what I was feeling. I was feeling lonely. I was feeling not good enough. I was feeling a lot of self-hatred for being Black and for being gay. It wasn't until I went into classes that I could really begin to realize that everything that I was blaming other people for, it was an inside job. My first class was Foundations, and that is when we began to really study what it means to truly love unconditionally, loving myself. Because where I love from is how I love. And it was a journey into understanding that everything I needed was already within me. I want to invite you to a class that we're beginning here on Wednesday. It is Foundations, the Foundations of Science of Mind. Myself and Dr. Ferd will be teaching this class, and I want to invite you on a journey of the soul. I want to let you know we're going to be studying prayer, meditation. We're going to study the journey of CSL and where it came from. You heard about Dr. Ernest Holmes, and we're going to do a little bit of that, but there are other writers and other authors we're going to explore as well. It starts this Wednesday, and it's going to be at 7 o'clock to 8:30. You can do it with us here online, or you can do it actually in person. I want to invite you to really begin to go deep into spiritual growth. It starts with classes, and yes, we can get everything here, but if you want to go deeper, come to class. Today, our core value is spiritual growth, and so it is. Amen.
All right, let's get to this. Confession is good for the soul. At least that's what my Catholic friends tell me. And yes, I have Catholic friends, and I have Muslim friends, and I have Hindu friends, and I have Buddhist friends. You know, there's something good in every faith, and there's something wonderful in everybody. And I kind of like the idea of confession, actually, because it frees the mind of guilt and it opens the heart to forgiveness. And you don't really need a Catholic priest to do it, you know. You can just call a friend, because no one has moral authority over you. Anyone that will listen in love without judgment or shaming you is a good candidate for hearing your confession. So here's my confession. I trust that you won't judge me, because what I'm about to confess is something you've probably done in your own life. It was in the fall of 2010. It was the month of September, to be exact. I always remember that month. I was living in Kansas City, Missouri, and every fall, for the 26 years that I lived there, I would get horrible allergies. And they were so bad that sometimes when I would wake up in the morning, my eyes would be swollen shut with mucus that I couldn't even get them open. So, of course, when this occurred 1 year, 2 year, 3 years in, I went to an allergist, and the allergist says, you're basically allergic to everything that blooms or dies in the fall. So I was miserable in September. It was the worst month for me always. And, of course, they would always respond the same way. The doctors, they say, you know, give you nasal sprays. They would give me antihistamines. I was taking all the drugs and everything. And if it got really bad, my allergies, then they would put me on prednisone, which is a steroid, which they did that month in 2010 that I'm talking about. And in a minute, you'll all know why all this backstory for my confession. So here it is. I'm at a car wash, right? I go to this car wash that's automatic. You drive your car through. But on the other side of the car wash are the self-service vacuums, so you can clean out your own car at the end of it. But they only had 2 of them at this car wash, so there's a line. So I go through the car wash, and I get in line. I pull my car around, ready to vacuum it, and I wait in my car patiently as I'm watching the guy in front of me who's vacuuming his car. And when he's done vacuuming his car, he's supposed to move out of the way. But he doesn't do that. Now, he can see that I'm waiting. He knows that other people want to use the vacuum, but he apparently doesn't care. So he slowly puts his mats in the back of the car, and he slowly closes the door, and he slowly gets in the car. Are you getting me? The key word is slowly. And all this time, I'm trying to be my lovely, patient self, my spiritual self, because now that he's finished vacuuming, surely he's going to move away, right? No. He gets back into his car, and he takes all the mats, he's cleaned everything, so he gets out of his car, he starts wiping his car down, and now he's detailing his car. Meanwhile, there's another car behind me, and now we're both waiting for him to finish vacuuming so that we can get in line to do that. But does he care? Apparently not. And that is when I lost it. Nothing makes me madder than seeing someone who is completely unconscious or uncaring of other people's needs. I cannot stand it. And so I could feel the fury rising in my body. I could feel the blood rush to my head. It was pounding. I went from calm patience, maybe, to evil killing machine in 2 seconds. And I felt my foot reach for the gas pedal. I was going to ram my car into this guy and push him out of the way. I was so enraged, I was so out of control that I literally took my car out of park and I started heading for his car. I'm going to push him out of the way. But then something stopped me. Something asked me, Chris, what is going on with you? You're not this way. Why are you so angry? This isn't like you. You don't do this. And that's when I remembered the steroids, the prednisone. They affect my mood. There's something about the chemical influence of that drug that makes some people become even more impatient and quick to anger. And that is exactly what was happening to me. It's called roid rage. I remember one year when I was, again, having fall allergies. It was September, and Aubrey and I had some kind of stupid I don't know what, there was some argument or something, and I was on prednisone, and I'd been on prednisone for a week, and I went from 0 to evil person really quickly, and I said, brother, you better back away from me. You better back away from me right now. And he took one look at my eyes, and he ran for the hills and said, let me get away from this happening. What's here? Roid rage, an intense fury that rises up within your body that is almost uncontrollable. Anger, uncontrolled, is like a fire that will burn everything down and everyone in its path to the ground. It's powerful and it's destructive. Or it can be powerful and constructive. And that's what we're going to learn today. How to use anger in a way that actually makes things better in your life. We do have a book of the month. It's called Real Change. There it is. And in it, the author writes about this, but first she talks about how to understand what anger actually is. This is what she said. She said, anger is actually a signal emotion. It warns us of indignity and threats and insults and harm. When someone or something makes us angry, our bodies and minds are effectively having an emotional immune response. You know, I never thought of it that way, but it kind of makes sense. When you get that anger is a signal emotion, that it's a signal that something is wrong, it's an emotional immune response, just like your body's immune system will respond to a virus or a bacteria you want to attack, right? Just like I did to the guy in front of me at the car wash. I was in full attack mode. So here's the thing. When your needs are ignored, like mine were, when you've been lied to, when you've been trivialized, when you've been overlooked, anger asserts itself. It is a signal response. It's an immune system. Your spirit awakens in fire and says, you can't treat me that way. You don't get to treat me that way. Who do you think you are? I deserve better than this. And this is why marginalized people take to the streets. They are angry. They are angry at the injustice. They are demanding to be heard and seen. They are demanding their rightful place at the table of good. That's right. And it's funny. I find it really interesting and kind of funny how the majority responds to that. They're always so confused. Why are these people so angry at things? What's wrong with them? There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with the system. Yes. Moral outrage is what the civil rights leader Cesar Chavez called it. It is the productive and constructive use of anger. You can use anger to get people to listen to you. You can use it to demand your rights to be seen and to be heard. You can use it to change the world. It is the core of the Black Lives Matter movement. It is the foundation of civil rights and the purpose for civil disobedience, moral outrage. I have experience with it personally. I watched it personally and up front in the 1980s. The moral outrage of the gay community, demanding the Reagan administration recognize the thousands of us who were dying of AIDS, forcing the CDC and the FDA to make experimental drugs available. And when the anger and the outrage spilled into the streets, it became obvious that silence really did equal death. It started in New York City in 1987 with Larry Kramer and his band of gay brothers and gay sisters. They founded ACT UP, and if it wasn't for them, thousands more, maybe even millions more would have died. So as you can see, there is a good use of anger. There is a way to use it constructively to bring about change in your life and the lives of everyone else. If you can focus it, if you can control it, it has the power to make changes and to heal people's lives, not destroy. But the key word is if. If you can control that fire. Heather Younes is a Boston lawyer whose legal practice focuses mostly on immigration cases where immigrant children have been taken from their parents and been incarcerated. She has a lot to say about moral outrage, and this is what she said about her own anger. She said, "My anger scared me. I didn't know how to harness it. Anger's like holding a hose that's running on full blast. If you're able to hold on to it, you're doing great. But the second you loosen your grip, it just goes all over the place. This is what we seek to avoid because it feels that way sometimes, like it's out of control, like the anger can just take over, and before you know it, you burned everything down and everything is out of control." Look, the truth is, there are a lot of reasons in our world and things to be angry about. But the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want to be angry? Do I want to be the person who's angry and upset all of the time? This is the key, my friends. This is how you keep your grip on that fire hose of anger. It is through the practice of mindfulness. That's what stopped me from ramming my car into that guy at the car wash. Mindfulness. Something in me awakened. Something in me stopped me and said, "What are you really angry about? What is the source of your anger? Why are you acting in this way?" And this is the practice that I'm promoting for you today. Practice mindfulness when you get angry, before you explode, before you say anything, before you do anything. bring your awareness to the part of your body where the anger is welling up inside of you and ask yourself this question. Why are you angry? Why? What are you really upset about? Bring to your awareness the feeling, the emotion of the anger, and say to yourself, I have a right to be angry. There's nothing wrong with being angry. My feelings are valid, but they're not permanent. This too shall pass. Now, here's something you don't learn in school and nobody tells you as an adult. The point of power. The point of power in your life is in that short space between what happens to you and then what you decide to do about it. It's in that split second where your future is decided. How you respond, what you choose, and how you act in that split second between what happened to you and what you decide to do about it is where your authority is and your power. Probably 20 years ago, I was asked to serve on the international board of a spiritual organization that had about 50,000 members. And God help us, there were 19 board members. That's a lot of egos in a room. And when I joined this board of 18 other distinguished board members, I said to them, look, I want to thank you for having confidence in my ability. And I want you to know that I have complete confidence in your ability, and I respect and I honor all of you. But there will be times when we have to make decisions that we don't all agree on, and I want you to know this. When I believe something is right and the right action to take, I will defend my position vehemently. I may even disagree with you passionately, but then after we make a decision together, I can leave this boardroom, I can walk out that door and still be your best friend. I am able to completely and totally disagree with you and still be kind and still be your friend. Now, I want you to know, when I said that in that board meeting, they all stood up and applauded. Thank you so much. Oh my God, a consciousness finally awakens. But I quickly learned very few of those other 18 board members possessed the same ability that I did to remain friends after leaving that room. Many of them took their position so personally and so righteously that if you disagreed with them, you instantly became their enemy. Sound like anyone else you know? The United States Congress, both political parties. This is why practicing the principles we teach is so important. When you practice mindfulness, especially around the powerful emotion of anger, you gain control of that power. And instead of letting it ruin your life and the lives of all the people around you and putting everybody down and making everyone miserable, you can actually use it to empower and execute change in your own life and maybe in our nation. So, what did you learn today? What's the takeaway? The next time you find yourself angry, stop. Stop and be mindful of where your emotion is in your body. Remember, it's a signal emotion, and it's telling you something's wrong. In some place here, your needs aren't being met, you're not heard, or you're not seen. Stop and ask, why am I so angry? What is this really all about? Stop before you act and before you speak, because in that split second between what happens to you and what they're saying or doing to you and what you decide to do about it is where all of your power lies. Now, I have one more confession for you today, and maybe one more lesson. My confession is that I have a new lover in my house. And don't worry, it's Aubrey approved. I'd like for you all to meet the new addition to my family, Quentin. Aw, how could he be cuter than me? All right, take the picture down, put me back on. In a world full of confused and angry people, we need other people and maybe pets to remind us of the only two things that are really important in life. There's only two of them: love and joy. That's it. So the next time you find yourself vehemently defending your position, the next time you find your anger rising up within your head and it's about to blow, ask yourself this simple question: in 100 years, will what I'm going through right now or this situation matter at all? And more than likely, your answer is no. And then I want you to stop talking about and stop listening to and stop looking at all of the things in this world and in this life that make you so damn mad. Stop consuming anger and find someone to love. Or maybe a puppy. So ends the lesson. Every day our world presents us with opportunities to love, to be in joy, or to be upset, to be angry. We get to choose where we're focusing our attention, who and what we're giving our time to. We come together here and online every single week to find love again, to recenter our joy. Let's close our eyes.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
We don't come into life full of anger or judgment or resentment. We don't enter our world marginalized, misunderstood, unseen, or unheard. We come in as pure, perfect, spiritual beings, having the courage and the bravado to enter a human body in a human world where we are misjudged and unseen for our worth and value. But there is goodness in our journey. We have made the right choice. We have chosen, in the face of all appearances, to know the truth. The truth that what is in us is far more powerful than anything going on around us, that what lives at the core of our being is a center of peace and love that cannot be harmed and can never go away. It is our home base. It's our place to come home to. It's where we return in meditation. We stop listening to all outside noise, all outside appearances, and we turn within into the silence, the language of the universe, to be still in peace. Be still in peace. Anger is not a negative emotion. It is a signal emotion. It is an alert going off that says something is not right here. Something needs to be corrected. Use its power as your own authority to make a change. Stay still in your peaceful center. Remain at your core, and you will be able to manage all the conditions of the world. Always stay home, the center of your heart, the clarity of your mind where God resides, where the good resides, where infinite makes its presence known. And so it is.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there, Spirit meets me there.
We close our service as we always do with an affirmation and a prayer. And if yours is like mine, and I know it is, would you say it aloud with me, please? I am a powerful being, and nothing can hold me back from success. Love is the essence of my life, and I can do anything. I am a magnet for greatness. Yeah, baby. Let us know this together, that we are designed for love and by love. We have been created in the image and likeness of wholeness and perfection, that each one of us is instilled with greatness, with the divine spark of purity and perfection. Let us know that we are here for a purpose. It is not a mistake that we're alive and put in these bodies. We are here for a single purpose, and that is to love. To find love within our own selves, for ourselves, and for others and for the people around us. Let's remind ourselves today and push the reset button that life is supposed to be a joyful adventure, not a place to endure suffering, misery, and be angry. Let us go home to love today. Return to the joyful heart of a child. Let's be together with Spirit again and be made whole again. That's my claim. That's my truth. It's done, and so it is. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.